Shalom. Welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, and we have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Andy Gelbman. He's the chief engineer of his production of Internet Wizards. Andy, welcome to the Jewish View.
Thank you.
Now, listen, there's a lot of things on the internet. You really could have any kind of information and education on the internet. But if we're going to tune in a little bit with the Jewish ideas of what you can find out about Jewish things on the internet. But really, let's start off with one thing, Andy, and that is just that what a lot of parents are concerned with, a lot of people are, of a lot of the garbage. Like we said,
Right.
It's a lot of good things, a lot of educational ideas on the internet, even Jewish things that we'll talk about also.
Yes.
But you got to take the good with the bad. But let's try to prevent taking the bad over
Well,
here.
the thing is with the internet is the thing to understand about the internet. It was developed in the late 1960s as a project of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Administration as a project of the U.S. Army, and it was designed to allow the government to continue to talk to itself in the event of a global thermonuclear exchange. By the late 1970s, it became obvious that there wasn't going to be any, thankfully, global thermonuclear exchange. But what happened at that point is it was turned over to the colleges and the universities, and in order to prevent things from coming in is kind of difficult because the internet treats censorship as damage and routes around it. So what becomes important for parents is you have to look out for basically 5 basic risks. You have spam, which we've all encountered.
I mean, people just
Sending you
around.
junk mail in your mailbox, and the also you have a lot of the junk websites you don't want the kids going to. You have to restrict what they see. You also have problems of spoofed emails, people telling you that someone is illegally logged into your bank account and you should log in, and stealing your identity that way. Theft on the internet, and there's a lot of these problems that you need to avoid. What you want to have on your home computer is a good antivirus, a good firewall, and some parental control software, and a spyware killer. And fortunately, you can get these programs for free if you know where to look. To get a good antivirus, you can go to a company called Grisoft. It's GRISOFT.CZ. In Czechoslovakia. They offer a program called AVG Antivirus, which is as good as Norton or McAfee or any of these commercial softwares, except it's free, which is kind of nice. Also, you want to get yourself a parental control software. There's a free one available at we-blocker.com. And a good firewall is available also for free at Cygate.com. And you can also get a good spyware killer at lavasoftusa.com. And this, there's a lot of URLs I'm throwing out here. You can actually get all this information for free at our website, which is internetwizards.com. You'll see a link on the homepage to free internet guides, and you can download a PDF file that has all this information on it. And the reason that you want to have all these controls on your computer is so that you can use it to take advantage of all of the educational opportunities that are available on there. Like we talked about, there are a lot of good educational sites on the internet. One, of course, is delmarchabad.org.
Yeah, that's ours, of course.
That has a lot of good material about Jewish culture, laws, and holidays. Another excellent site is called ahklah.com. That's ahklah.com. That's actually aimed more at children, but they've got a lot of downloadable goodies, including Hebrew flashcards and educational materials, especially if you have a child in a Jewish school or in a Talmud Torah afternoon school and you want to have some extra materials, you can get for free there. And also there's an excellent site at Aish HaTorah, aish.com, which is a good general Jewish studies type site. And you want to be able to get to these things without having to worry that your children are going to end up in the wrong place. And some of these softwares that I've mentioned will help you create a safe computing environment for especially if you have children in the house.
You know, that's important. I mean, I just think that, you know, as a Jewish person, you want maybe access to Jewish things, but of course you have to watch out from the schmutz, you say in Yiddish, all the garbage that comes out over here.
Well, the thing is that they estimate, nobody really knows how many websites there are, but there's estimates of somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 million
Really, that
websites.
many?
So 500 million websites, and with 3,000 new ones coming on every day at a minimum, you're talking about a tremendous amount of information to sift through. And you know, the thing is that there's a lot of garbage, but there's also a lot of good stuff on the internet as well. And you know, we mentioned some sites. You also have, if you want news and information, you can read almost any major newspaper on the internet, usually for free. There's an excellent Jewish commentary site at jewishworldreview.com, and he carries everybody from Alan Dershowitz on one side of the political spectrum to Dennis Prager on the other, and everything in between. There's also excellent materials at the OU.com. They're putting a lot more educational material on their website, not just about kashrus, but about all aspects of Jewish observance. And also, you'll find a lot of good information at delmarchabad.org concerning just about every aspect of Jewish life and observance. And so you obviously want to take advantage of those opportunities, but you don't want to get involved, like you say, in the schmutz that is out there. In fact, some of these sites are very deceptive. For example, if you go to the White House in Washington, D.C., which is whitehouse.gov, there's a lot of good stuff there. There's a copy of the Constitution. There's a copy of the Declaration of Independence. There's lots of historical information about the presidents and about other American things. But if you go to whitehouse.com, that's a schmutzy site.
Really?
And unfortunately, you know, some genius at the White House didn't think to register when they were registering whitehouse.gov to also pick up .org, .net, .com. And a less than scrupulous person picked up whitehouse.com, and this was during the Clinton administration, and they made a porno site out of it, unfortunately.
Really?
And it's a very easy mistake to make. I mean, you know, the kids are doing homework about the presidency. They want to visit the White House, and without thinking, they type in whitehouse.com, and they get the wrong thing, as opposed to whitehouse.gov, which would get them to the real White House site. And that's why it's important to have something like a parental control software, because even if the kids are good and you can trust the kids and you don't have to worry about them doing the wrong thing, you know, they could even just make a mistake and end up in the wrong place.
How does the censors do that? How do they know whitehouse.gov is good and .com is no good?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that antivirus works. Parental control software works. Some use a URL list that you update from time to time, like you would an antivirus file. The way it works is that it maintains a list of sites that are banned, and you know, and it won't allow access to those particular sites. Other softwares actually read the sites and look for questionable words or content, and those are actually a little more accurate because they're actually looking at the site itself rather than relying on a list that quickly becomes obsolete. WeBlocker, which is available for free, actually reads the site and looks for phrases that fall into its blocked list, and also looks at the images and looks for a ratio of colors. And if there's too many skin tones, it's going to assume that that's an inappropriate image and will block the site.
No, that's very interesting. I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Well, the technology gets better every year. I mean, you know, it used to be that you couldn't rely on that kind of technology. The OCR and everything just wasn't up to it. But now optical character recognition and analysis of imagery has gotten to the point where you can actually rely on it to actually read the content of the site.
All right, that's very good. It's excellent over here. Well, that's, you know, I mean, a Jewish person, of course, the highest level of moral and ethics is a Jewish person. So that's an important point over here, that we'd like to have, the highest morals and ethics. I'm sure every parent would also, like we always say, there's always an overlap between more, Jewish values and hopefully the right moral values. I'm thinking, like, again, Judaism teaches charity. Well, who's going to argue with that? That's a very nice thing, and moral thing. Here also, it's an overlap. Jewish people, of course, are supposed to have the highest morals and ethics, but I'm sure every normal parent also wants that for all their regular children too.
Well, it's even like I say, even if you have children that wouldn't seek this stuff out, it's easy just to make an honest mistake and end up in the wrong place. I mean, the White House site is a perfect example of this. There are legitimate reasons to go to the White House in Washington. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there. And it's just a matter of mistyping the URL and you end up in a bad place. So the parental control software is, even if it's not, you don't even have to worry about the kids, it's more you even want to protect them from making a mistake. And it's a good idea to have, even when morals is not the problem. It's it's just too easy to run into this stuff. Also, what a lot of these softwares will do is they'll screen out a lot of the emails you'll get that'll have inappropriate content on. And this is also something you have very little control over, because once you get on one email list, it seems like you get on all of them. And with the amount of spyware that's floating around the internet, you can end up with emails you don't even know why you get them. I mean, I had a client who didn't frequent questionable sites. That wasn't the issue. And all of a sudden, his mailbox is full of adult material and all of this he didn't request. And we checked out his machines, and we found out that some spyware had gotten in there. And what they found out was that he went to a lot of sports sites. He was a baseball umpire. He went to a lot of sites about hunting and fishing, and So that what happened was the spyware reported back, "This is a man on this computer." And so they started sending him all of this porno stuff, which he had actually no interest in, and we had to clean it out. And that's why a program like AdAware, which is available for free from lavasoftusa.com, is very good to get that kind of spyware out of your computer, so that that information is not being reported back to the people who send spam mail. There's laws pending in Congress right now that would penalize people who send out spam. But that's going to be tied up for years in the courts, and who knows when that's actually going to go into effect. So really the responsibility for protecting your computer from this sort of stuff falls with you as a parent.
To move that out of the computer.
Just to keep it clean. There are some internet service providers that do offer filtered internet where they'll screen this stuff for you. Sun Media is local to Albany. They offer filtered internet. And they'll try and screen out as much of this as they can. AOL also has parental controls. So does Roadrunner has parental controls that they give free to their subscribers. And those are good, and they're about 90% effective. But you still have to deal with that other 10%. And all the software in the world can't replace an attentive parent. I mean, you really kind of have to watch what the kids are doing. The internet's the whole world, and just like you wouldn't let a child walk around Midtown Manhattan by themselves, really shouldn't allow, especially younger children, to be on the internet unattended. Some good ways to do that is to keep the computer in like a place where everybody sees it, like in the family room.
So you can look over their shoulder.
So you can, just when you're passing by, going about your day to day, you can kind of see what they're up to. Just like parents set limits on radio and TV, set a limit on the computer. You can only be on it so many hours a week, or just for homework, or whatever. It's also not a good idea for, especially younger children, to have their own email address. Let everything go through the parent's email address. Then you can see what's coming in. A lot of providers will also send a copy of everything that comes into a child email address to the parent as well, and you can kind of see what what the kids are up to. And it's not that you really want to be spying on the children. That's really not the point. It's really more from a point of view of protecting them, because there's a lot of people out there, and the truth is, I can tell you that I'm a 12-year-old girl, but that does, and without, just by looking at the email or in a chat room, there's no way to know that really I'm a 42-year-old man. It's, and unfortunately, there are people out there like that. There was a case not too long ago here in Capital District where a an older gentleman thought he was conversing with a 14-year-old girl and was trying to convince her to meet him at some place. And fortunately, it wasn't a 14-year-old girl. It was a Gelbman police officer, and he was arrested, for endangering the welfare of a minor. But again, that's good that the police caught this particular guy, but you want to make sure that it's not your child that's ending up in these kinds of situations. This is kind of important to monitor what children do online.
Right, that's very good. Do you have any special parental guides to?
Well, we have one for free.
A list over there.
That's available for free at internetwizards.com. Just go right to the front page. You'll see a link for free internet guides. Just click on that. You'll be able to download it in PDF format. And it's got all the URLs that I've mentioned where you can get all the free software, some basic advice on making the internet safe for your children, and just some history on the topic, so that you'll just be better informed of what's going on out there. And that's a free service that we offer to anyone who would like to take advantage of it.
That's very nice over there. You have a public service on
We
your
have
own
a public
internet.
service, yes, for free public service.
Well, it's important. I mean, it's important if you're going to teach about the internet that there has to be these safeguards also.
Well, the companies we serve are, pretty, Main Street type companies, but obviously most of them are just regular folks, and they're married with children, and they care about this too. And as we're a general technology consulting company, we do more than just websites. There's been a lot of requests for this kind of information, so we decided to make it free to the general public, so that people will know what's going on.
All right, let's go back to the Jewish websites, because we have a few more minutes just to talk about them, because how much education can be had through the internet.
There's actually a huge number of Jewish resources. In addition to what is at Chabad, you can also, and I've also already mentioned Akla, there's a website called For Every Jew, which is foreveryjew.com, which is also got a whole host of educational materials for everybody from children to more advanced students. There's the site called A Page of Talmud. If you're on the road and you want to keep up with your Talmudic studies, actually keeps the images of the pages of the Talmud. You can look up any page you want and do your studying right online. There's also an excellent collection of sites about the Jewish holidays. And usually it's holiday.com, you've got Passover.com, Hanukkah.net.
Yeah.
And these are I think most of them are projects of Chabad, but there are some that are projects of other organizations, which really go into detail about each of the Jewish holidays, and often have a great deal of information about observance and stories and activities that families can take advantage of. There's also an excellent, locally we have, in addition to the Chabad sites, the MaimonidesSchool.org, which is the local Jewish day school, also has a large list of Jewish resources right on their links page, and you can just go check that out, and that's also free for anyone who wants to take advantage of it.
Any Jewish education that a person's able to.
And it's at all levels. I mean, anywhere from someone who's just starting out, just starting to rediscover Jewish education, to someone who's really been doing it for a while and really just looking for a new source to tap into.
Because they're really. As the Rebbe always says, that a person is able to use technology for a holy purpose. I mean, there's obviously you shouldn't be using it for forbidden or bad purpose like we were talking about before, but even the idea of, even just regular things like White House, but he actually can make it a holy place that by using the, technology to learn more Torah.
Well, the thing is that technology is really just a tool. I mean, even the word technology really means knowing how to make it work. It's just a tool, and you can use it to build a house, or you can use it to do something not so good. And there are a large number of people out there using it for good. I mean, we always hear about the people who are doing not so good things with it, but if you take the time to take a quick look at it, there's a lot of good things going on. Not just on the internet. There's a lot of software available for you to run on your home computer, to study Torah, to study Hebrew, to keep track of observance. There's all of this software that's available. There's even free software. In fact, one of the things that I was looking for a long time was a good Bible search program that used the Jewish translation. And I finally found one. Interestingly enough, it was on a Christian website, but the text was the Jewish Publication Society translation from 1917.
Oh.
And that's a free site. That's actually BibleSearch.org. You can download the JPS text and the search software, and that's also free. And that's become a handy little tool as well. And here's where you wouldn't even expect to find it. This is a Gentile organization, but even here they're going out of their way to try and help disseminate even Jewish learning. And I don't even think they even realize what they're doing, but that's all right. They're doing the right thing, and it's again, that's also something people might want to take advantage of, also for free.
Yeah, you never know. There's so much really free things out there. I mean, it's an amazing idea of education that's spreading out all over the world.
Well, one of the things that's becoming more popular recently is something called open source. And what open source is that the software is free, the support costs money. And the thing is that but for a lot of people, if you can read an instruction book, or you know someone who knows something about computers, you're not going to need to pay for that support. So these are some very good free softwares out there that you can get your hands on, and save yourself quite a bit of money and actually get a lot of value. And there's, again, if anyone's interested in free open source software.
And then afterwards, to subscribe, you have to pay again?
There's no subscription. It's just that if you need someone to help you customize it, you'll pay a consultant. But the software itself is free. And for most people who are, content with the default settings, and that's 90% of us, it's 100% free. There's no license, there's no subscription, there's no nothing. You download it, you install it, and you use it for free.
Well, they'll make money for those 10%. You mean people who would want?
And they'll make enough money on that to make it worth their while. Yes, that's like with the free antivirus. I mean, why would somebody make antivirus available for free when Norton sells it every day for $40 a year? Well, the reason is this particular company does most of their work in corporate antivirus, and what they are figuring is that most viruses that come into the corporate system come from home computers. That if they help home users eliminate the viruses, they lessen the amount of work they have to do on the other end, and they charge their corporate users, obviously, a pretty penny to protect their systems. And this is part of how they provide that service to their paying customers.
Really, it's interesting.
So it's an interesting way of how they're doing it. And this program is now in its 7th version, so they've been doing this for a long time. And it's an excellent piece of software. I mean, it's not junk. It's actually as good as, if not better, than the commercial packages you'll buy and pay money for. I happen to use it myself, so I mean, I can't give it a better endorsement than that. And there's absolutely no fees involved with it. There's no subscriptions, no nothing. And that's 100% free. And a lot of open source software is like that.
It's interesting. I mean, like there's other, in a way, ulterior motives why it's free. Because you always say, what's the gimmick? Why would anybody?
Well, obviously, it has to benefit its writer. I mean, otherwise, why would they give it away? But it turns out that by giving it away to home users, they're actually benefiting their corporate users. So, and there's a lot of open source software like that.
That's just interesting over here. Yeah, well, I know what like you say, delmerchabad.org, I mean, of course, we're nonprofit, so it's an educational source. And that in itself is the benefit.
And a lot of these Jewish sources that we've mentioned are motivated by the same thing. They're not for profits. Like Aish Torah it has a seminary in Israel. I mean, so that they have a school there, but the website is offered as a service to the community. There's no charge for access. They do have some membership options, but they're very inexpensive if you want to download videos and stuff like that. But it's under $10 a year. I mean, it's very, very inexpensive. Other sites are 100% free. And again, because they're not for profit, they are designed exclusively to just get information out there. And there's a lot of great resources available online. And as long as you can create a safe computing environment, which is the software we talked about would do that, you really can go out and take full advantage of all the things that are out there on the internet.
Well, that's excellent over here, that we talk about all the different opportunities a person could learn over here, Judaism. I don't know, I mean, sometimes I know it's a resource, but sometimes maybe I'm not into it enough like the younger kids, but just to actually learn from the internet. I mean, like you have a human touch over here, a human teacher over here.
Well, actually, there's even search engines that are compiled by humans. About.com is a human-managed search engine, and that's there's no machines involved. So there are people actually looking at these sites and making sure that they are what they say they are. And so that's actually another a good resource to consider when looking for information.
See, they put their hexture.
There's a
their
human
kosher,
being,
yeah.
and they'll actually even put up the photo of the person who checked out the site and made sure that it was okay. And you can even write to them and ask them a question.
You know, that's why, well, you know, these computer programs are teaching everything, like learning Torah and teaching, you know, how to read the Torah, bar mitzvah lessons. I was wondering if they're really that good over here. I mean, I know they're good. I've seen them work, but...
Well, it depends on who creates them. I mean, a program's only as good as its creator. And especially when you're looking at software for religious purposes, you want to make sure that the people who made it have a good hexture, as it were. So, you know, there's... and the more reputable sites and sources of information will tell you who the rabbi is and, you know, where he's coming from and what their point of view is. And if someone's not willing to tell you that information, you kind of got to ask yourself, where's it coming from? So it's definitely a good question to ask, you know, before you accept anything you see on the internet, is to know what the source is. I mean, some sites with the Delmar Chabad, you know where that's coming from. It's coming from Chabad in New York, and you know what the hexture of that is. You go to the OU, you know what the hexture of that is. And so that's pretty reliable. Some other, you know, Eisha Torah also, that yeshiva's been around forever.
Reputation.
They got a good reputation, so you know who they are. It's some of these other sites, so you wonder, you know, like, who are these people and where are they coming from? And so you really want to ask that question. Most sites will have a link about us. Take a look at that. See who the rabbi is. See who's making sure everything is okay. And again, just buyer beware.
All right, we're just about out of time. This was very informative, just about the internet, and that's important for the information. But number two, I mean, about Jewish sites also. There's so much to be learned from and to be informed about. And I want to thank you, Mr. Andy Gelbman, again. InternetWizards.com. Go to that. I mean, we were rattling off a lot of names and websites, but it's all there for...
That's all there to download for anyone who'd like a copy.
Thank you very much.